What is going on, Movie Meals? Here we are. I gotta just make a playlist on the channel for some of these anime reviews because I finished another one. I finished Demon Slayer yesterday. My brother had really been pushing me to watch this, and again, I'm gonna preface this with every anime review. I'm a big believer in. I know there's this war between sub and dub. I tend to wait for the dub just because I like to catch things. I like to really take everything in. I understand that some of the dub translations maybe never work as well. Some do. I think it just depends. My brother really convinced me, and after watching Vinland Saga, I was enjoying just sitting down and watching something in the sub for a little bit. And I believe the dub's airing, but I haven't seen it. I do want to, but I did finish the sub, so I watched it in the subtitles. I'm also going to say this because I preface this every time. Anime's awesome. It's awesome. And there's incredible stories. And if you're a fan of storytelling, you should check out these type of shows because that's what it is. I understand there's a lot of negative stigmas around it in the West. And some of that is fair. Some of it isn't. There's always going to be some of that. But they really are incredible stories and mediums that can't be told without animation and the art form. And it's awesome. So let's dive into it. My non-spoiler review of Demon Slayer. So I had never heard of it, and my brother had check my brother out. Every anime review, I'll give him a shout out. Essays about everything art, I'll link him in the description below. He makes awesome videos a lot about anime and things like that, so go check him out. But he really pushed me and said this show apparently is extremely, the show got incredible, the manga's insanely popular now, you need to check this one out. And he really pushed hard for it, and he's never really steered me wrong. I think there's one or two animes he's pushed me to watch where I was like, it's not for me. But I decided to go ahead and sit down and watch it, and I got a couple eps in, and I was like, all right, I'm liking this story. But by the time I finished it, I ended up really loving it. I think the main character in Tanjiro is really cool. Tanjiro, however you say it. I'll butcher all the names always, but he's an interesting protagonist because yes, it's got the normal anime of idea of if you believe or push hard enough, you'll save the day, you'll do that, and you do get some of that in this show for sure, a lot of it in this show. I'm a big fan of that. That's why like a My Hero Academia really works for me because I really like those cheesy moments. I really like those believe in yourself and you'll go beyond, and I really like that. But for this show, he's such an interesting character because he's just extremely nice. Not that other characters in anime aren't, but just the way he handles things, the way he handles lots of things with kindness until he really and a couple times you see him get completely pushed to the edge where he does kind of break that kindness a little bit, but then it results in him later being so kind. I love the story because at first I was like, all right, this is a story of him trying to save his sister. That's really what it is, and I really like the dynamic they have. I think it's really amazing. And it's if you have siblings, it's a relatable story, and I think it really works. The action is really great. The voice acting for me, listening in the dub, if you understand, I think critics and just normal people, you can understand acting, and that is a form with voice acting as well. And even though I don't speak the language, I can tell when they're giving a good performance. You can tell. You can just listen to what they're saying and how it's coming across in the animation, and you can tell if it's a good performance. Because sometimes I listen to subs where people say it's better to listen to that translation, but I actually think maybe an actor isn't doing as well. Not that they're a bad actor, but that just for that character, the way they're portraying him, it didn't work for me as some of the English. So in this, I thought it was really well, especially our main characters. I think they're very good at displaying the humor and the soothed calmness that he brings, that you need for that type of character. I think that was really incredible, especially for Tanjiro. I think that he blew my mind as well as Nezuko. And there's just a lot of really interesting characters that I just really enjoyed. It is a quick show. When it started, it was very quick for me. And I was like, man, we are moving. We're not getting a lot of time for training and things like that. And it's just throwing him right into it. And then at first it was like, is this going to be every episode? Am I going to be watching 20 episodes of him just kind of battling to get to the next step, which can work, but eventually, you know, it'll feel like filler because we're not actually making progress. And then it switches, and it felt like I was like, wow, we're making progress really quickly. And I wasn't sure which way it was going, but I like the direction. I think it was a very good first season, and I really like the direction it's going to be going into. The last real positive I really want to talk about is the animation, because the animation is a very interesting 3D style of animation. And when I first episode I watched, I kind of sat back and was like, this is a little jarring to me. Not in a, maybe not in a negative way, but in a way that is taking me out, where I sat back and said, hey, this is interesting. It's and do I like it? I'm not sure if I love the style yet. And as it kept going, I got a little more used to it. I ended up really liking it, because then they mix in, especially during the fight scenes, they mix in kind of this more free, it feels freehand form drawing to me, and it feels like a painting. And I really like that style of animation, that blending of, to me, what feels like 3D style animation with original drawing animation. I think it really, really works, and it makes for incredibly interesting action scenes, which it really make, because I know some people can get bogged down with every action scene's kind of the same. It's just an intense fight. At the end of the day, the hero will go beyond, you know, the pun there, but for My Hero, a little joke there, but just that they can do that. But these scenes really work because you kind of just want to see how it's gonna look, and I really, really liked that. I liked all the characters throughout. Again, the animation is really the key thing that really kept me invested and got me really excited for moving forward, because it really, as time went on, I really ended up loving it. But my only negative is that some of the jokes do not work for me. And two of the side characters, Tanjiro's friends, whose names I'm forgetting, but I do like them. But there are times where I sat back watching the show being like, all right, I get the shtick. And it's like, okay, we're still just going on the shtick. And it's hopefully towards the end, when they kind of came together and they were going on an adventure together of the season, it kind of blended away for me, and it got more to, we know more about each other, we're in the action, and it was less about that when we first met, which worked. But that was my only negative. It was like, all right, we get it, and I want to move forward, which I feel like it did. So I'm excited to see a season 2, to see if, you know, not only will the animation budget even probably get bigger, all the cool scenes, the story, but just to see how those two characters develop, because I do like them. But the question is, because I think it's going towards a growth, I felt I saw a little bit of growth, and I want to continue seeing that. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Demon Slayer. Guys, again, check out everything we got out on this channel. If you did watch the review of 1917, I understand it's wonky. Kyle and I are working on it. That was kind of the way, we had no choice to film that, but we wanted to keep doing things together for the most part that we can. So go check that out. Go check out Essays About Everything Art. My brother's channel does great stuff, especially if you're a fan of anime. And as always, remember to like, subscribe, share. Thanks for watching, Mom, and we'll see you next time, guys.